mechanic on next Friday. So it's always, if it isn't one thing or another. And I had a Subaru Forester, and I really, really, really liked it. And I drove it around for a year, even with kind of a bad head gasket. I just kept adding water to it. And then my dad ended up passing away, and I ended up with a insurance policy. My sister and I split an insurance policy, and I'm like, you know what? I've had enough with fooling around with this Subaru. I hated to get rid of it. The AM radio in that thing was just phenomenal for the broadcast band, and what's in the Jeep is just so mediocre. So forth. Anyway, I'm over 3 minutes. My egg is done. I can ramble on for another 20 minutes. Over to you, Steve. K1GMM, K2XAM.
KJ1G.
Uh-oh. Good morning, Chris. Steve here, K1GMM, up in Southwest Vermont. And nice to hear you. Good morning. Put it your way next. I actually have I forgot to start it. I have a timer here. Digital timer on the computer display. So I just started it. We're at 5 seconds. So here we go. This is our first Subaru. The Subaru is the official vehicle of Vermont. Don't ask, dude. I just heard that. I also heard something else that's pretty funny. I like the vehicle. I've yet to try it in snow. I hear they're monsters in the snow. Just wicked. That's why people run them here, right? But I pulled in to drop my daughter off at work. Oh, this is a couple months ago. And the girl that works with her, my daughter's Down syndrome with autism, special needs, you know. She works down at TJ Maxx in Manchester, and she says to me, "Oh, you got a Subaru?" She says, "You do know that's a lesbian car, right?" I was like, "What?" Yeah. So I just told my wife yesterday. I said, "I like driving the car, but I really don't want to drive it that much because people think I'm a lesbian." So she got a kick out of that. Go ahead, Chris. Good morning, K1GMM.
K2LJM. I think that also. Lesburus. Yeah, usually you see them with a what the connection is there. But, yeah, good morning. Morning, Steve. Good morning. The Central, it's 100B. Getting warmed up for the very sideband yeah, beautiful day here. We had a really nice day yesterday. It was actually cool. And the day before yesterday it was really hot. I went down to Costco and 102 degrees in the parking lot. Truck up on the way home, but it's not too bad. Yesterday, I didn't even break a sweat. It was cloudy, and it was in the low, like 70 degrees with breeze all day, and then the sun came out. It was a beautiful evening. I went down to Stonington Point for the radio a little bit, 40 meters, and did some fishing. And Steve, you'll sympathize with me here on this one. It wasn't really fishing, but I ended up calling home saying, "Hey, I'm on my way home. I was supposed to be home for dinner," and Diana said, "Well, I'm still working on this project here, this art project she was working on, artsy craftsy thing. You want take your time, be home at 7." So I went to the town dock at Stonington. We have it's a commercial fishing dock. You know the area. They got where the town where all the commercial fishing boats tie up. There's a little open access fishing stand at the end. I went down there and casting. I just bought a brand new ounce-and-a-half dark black and purple Daiwa SP Minnow. I wanted to try it out with my big rod. Actually, it's Daiwa rod, 11-footer, and put it on a leader. Made a couple of casts. It was running. Felt really nice. Nothing was going on. I didn't expect to catch any fish. like a third cast, somehow I managed to jam the swivel, the snap swivel that the leader was attached to up in the eye of the tip of the rod, and it opened up the swivel snap, and the leader fell off, and it was a sinker, SB Minnow, and down it went to the bottom of the harbor. So there's $20 out the window. I think there was like $20, and I'm probably going to get another one. Because I really that apparently has been a very hot plug lately at night. I didn't have one. I wanted to try one out, and for 3 brief casts, I was very happy, and then I was very sad. Oh well, hey, fishing without incidents ain't fishing. All right, over to you, Kevin. Red Sox lost. I haven't followed the rest of the game yet, but yeah, they lost another one. There's still only 3.5 out of the 3-hole though in the wild card race, but they're running out of time. I'm starting to think they're not going to make it. Oh, by the way, did we talk about well, it's not WCBS, it's WQBX or something now, I forget now. ESPN Sports Radio on 880. They have the same lousy audio, almost the exact same lousy audio as TIC. I was listening to a Mets game. K2XAM, AJ1G.
It goes over to George. George, take it and send it to me. Good morning.
Yeah, okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Chris, I'm not going to hang in here because the static is too much for Gracie's ears. And, oh, come on. Yeah, that's what I needed. Thank you. Excuse me. Good morning. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I heard Chris is kind of on the weak side over here. I don't know where the storms are. I know there were storms overnight over in Rockland, the other side of the river, as I got a few texts from my Lightning app, but it must be further away from me because I have no recent texts, but I can hear it. So I'm going to look at Lightning maps, but I'm going to go on the side kind of into listening mode because it's very unpleasant, even for my ears, and it was driving her a little cuckoo. So, see, I'll check back in maybe in 20 minutes or half an hour if things are any better. It doesn't help when the station's, weak in my receiver, so. And I guess the Sox lost, so, well, depending on who they were playing, I guess that's a good thing. Yankees were off. I don't know with Baltimore, if anything, if they played. I don't know what they did. But, Kevin, I'll send it over to you. Listen out just for a minute, and I'm going to just mute the receiver and look at a couple things online because it's too noisy, especially when you're first out of bed. K2XAM and the group N2LJO.
And KC2CKO here.
All right, and good morning to Paul as well. Yeah, so Red Sox lost to the Blue Jays 2-0. I listened to most of that game. I believe I got this right. The Orioles lost to the Dodgers. Let me get back over here and double check and see if my notes are right. Let's see. Orioles lost to the Dodgers, right, 6-3. And the Brewers shut out the Giants. I listened to most of that game at the shop with Bob Uecker. It is so cool hearing that old buzzard dude, which we're all going to be. We're headed in that direction. 90 years old calling baseball. It's cool hearing him. And some of the comments he makes every once in a while are just beyond silly and so forth. I didn't check the Mets. I guess I can check the Mets here. I go back to the standings and National. And it looks like the Brewers are playing the Reds today. So we're headed to Amarillo. So we're staying in Dayton, not that far from the Dayton Hamfest and so forth. Let's see, National League. It's supposed to be 100 today in Dayton. Fortunately, we won't probably get there until about 10 tonight or some sort of thing. So the Mets just edged out the Diamondbacks 3-2. So not bad. And the Mets play the White Sox. What do you think? Will the White Sox end up beating the Mets on any of these games? Oh, the poor White Sox. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, I'll toss it on over to Paul, and I'm not going to stay in here real long either. I need to get my stuff packed up. And I'm supposed to be over to Eddie the Fry Guys by about 9 o'clock. So we can get up north and pick this guy up that we've got to drive to Amarillo. So, Paul, go ahead and take it. Good morning to you. Hope you and Sharon are doing well. And George, good morning to you and Gracie as well. So, Paul, take it. KC2CKO, K2XAM in the group.
K2XAM in the group, KC2CKO back here. I'm doing good, but the wife is under the weather. She's got something. I think there's some strain of COVID going around that she may have. She's got cough and hacking and just feeling lousy. But she's taken like 3 or 4 of those COVID test things, and it always comes back negative. But somebody said it's some stupid strain maybe that the tests won't detect. So who knows? Hopefully she'll be on the mend. So we're missing going up to camp. And it's, boy, I tell you, I can't believe it's, what is it, the 30th today. So, man, the summer is slipping away. So we don't have, 4 days, Labor Day is end of summer. So, and boy, you've got a road trip ahead of you there. Drive safe. I hope everything goes well. Have a good time. And what am I going to do today? I think if I have the ambition to do it, I might check the brakes out on my Saturn VUE there. So the back brakes, I think I bought a set of new shoes and just might take one side off and see how they're doing. But it sounds like they're rubbing. So something to do today here. So see, what did I do yesterday? Oh, yesterday I put an order in for 50 pounds of flour. So I'm going to get ready for my bread baking season here. So that's doing exciting and going.
Steve, I think, gets it.
Okay, boy, there is some heavy fading, and combined with the racket, it's got all of that. So good morning, George, Paul, I think George, and a quick comment regarding what you said, Chris. Man, is that the most frustrating thing? Losing a $20 lure. I remember trolling around out there around the reefs and snagging Niner rigs. Niner rigs aren't cheap. We on slack tide, I had downriggers on the boat, so we dropped Niner rigs down on the downriggers and troll around, and we'd freaking snag those things on a rope, lobster pot. Forget it, dude. It's like, you might as well take a $20, $30 bill or whatever. And, well, $30 bill. It'd be nice if they existed. Grab a lighter, put the cigar away, and just set the friggin' cash on fire, because that's what I'm doing. It used to piss me off. I just took a quick look on radar, and it looks like southeast, just southeast of Atlantic City off the coast. Boy, there's a line of bangers down there. And I think it's even being propagated up in here right now. So it's going to tighten up. It's going to disappear, but it's probably a half hour out, maybe something like that. It's not quite as bad as it was earlier, but it's still rocking in here. Go ahead, Chris. K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM, AJ1. Yeah. Think about how many walk tails and braided line I've lost in the last 5 years. Really bad in the breach. He's tailing in the breach. Man, there's lost.
If If I can't say in
sometimes you think
60
you're
seconds
tied
what I
into
need to
something
say, it
big.
ain't worth saying it. That's why I'm using the timer again.
Oh man, yeah. This is
What's going on, Dave?
SP Minnow. I know they're.
Freaking band's horrible.
When I first started getting back into surfing, I had a
God, his audio is just
nice,
in and out. Very, very
brand
weak
new, but it
audio
was quite old.
modulation. He's got a great carrier,
Uh,
but it's just
wooden plug starter, I think, and
you can see his
on
audio is
the,
like right
east
in the
side
noise
of
at
the Pawnee
times.
Beachway. And wouldn't you know it, I cast it into the bushes on the far side, and I could not get that loose. And, having to, break the line, and someone with a kayak probably found it. It was couldn't miss it. It was freaking huge.
I'm not gonna be in here too long.
I had one time
I did some work
guessed,
on the gate, Dave. So let me know if it's chopping in and out.
I had something
I checked
happen,
it,
and
and
I
it didn't sound like it was.
I don't know if it wasn't tied
Had
right.
problems
I had
last
a
night,
nice,
as you-
a
last
nice
night, as you know.
plastic wheel on that I cast at Charleston Beachway, I think it was. He was Quaney, and then somehow the guy, I was all the way down to the point of the breakwater, but somehow the guy further down towards the tip ended up picking it up. And he gave it back to me. That was a lucky stroke. I had the same thing happen.
He's got
with,
some problems there.
Danny, a big.
I don't know what he's using. It's probably a rice burner.
Charleston.
Rice burners are low on modulation
actually
generally,
was
except for the Kenwoods. Kenwoods are the best.
Further down the breakwater, snagged it out and got it back. That was a rare occasion. Yeah, I was pissed off at that beautiful day with SP Minnow. I'll probably go get another one. But yeah, bluefish. A bunch of bluefish were up on Weekapog a couple nights ago. I was just leaving when the guys next to me caught a couple of them, and they were right up against the beach, and a lot of bait around. It was a really cool article. I just got. I wonder if you get On the Water magazine, Steve. The latest one I think it was
Radio
July,
trips
August. I
out?
haven't seen the fall one yet.
Oh, that's
But there's
weird.
an article in there
You
about
key
these
up and
guys
the
that are
radio
into
trips out.
it. It was not so much the fishing
That
side of
almost
things,
sounds like
but
an
flying
RF issue.
drones and
Got some ingress coming
photographing
back
fish
in
in
or
the
something.
water and whales in the water, and some amazing photographs of like giant schools of migrating bass, and then this one cool picture of a giant school of bluefish, and they were in a spiral pattern. I think there was maybe there was a seal or something.
No, it's his
Something
audio,
like that,
Dave.
but they went into this big
This is audio. If you watch the
spiral,
spectrum,
like a spiral.
there is no noise
galaxy
gate
of
on this.
bluefish,
It's just
shots.
chopping.
Really cool pictures.
see
and,
that?
And then
Almost no
one
modulation.
guy,
He's got a 10 to
what's
15 over
what
carrier,
was the funniest
and it's-
thing you ever saw? And he says,
and it's
everyone
very
he was-
garbly and
I
warbled.
guess he's been
That's not
chasing
my system.
whales and stuff like that with his drones. And he says every once in a while you catch a whale pooping. I don't know what a whale fart is. You always talk about whale farts and sonar. I think I heard a whale fart.
See, now he's stronger, and
This
it's
guy
not.
actually sees him.
It's
Anyhow,
cleaned up.
let's see. I guess it goes over to Kevin or George. Yeah, Kevin, you said we're going down to Amarillo.
There you
Is
go.
that
Now
you and
he's
your
strong.
son, or I don't think Jamie's going with you. Anyhow, what's the deal in Amarillo? I think that's a work-related trip, if I'm not mistaken.
He's very low.
K2XAM, AJ1G.
Right, AJ1G, K2XAM. Well, me and the Fry guy, you know Eddie Fixit. You've met him before. I think you were standing in line at Nearfest. And
He's about the same strength.
Helped you and me cart some big piece of equipment at Sussex over to where Bear was.
He's got
way better
modulation.
I don't remember what the piece of gear was, but I remember the three of us kind of trying to
It's one of the
jockey that
noisiest
thing onto a
mornings I've seen in a
refrigerator
long
cart
time.
and
It's bad.
and cart it from out in the parking area over to where Bear was a couple 3 years ago. That was a fun day. So he's got a friend.
QSB is horrific.
Who's also a ham. I can't remember his call sign to save my life. We all went to Dayton together a couple months ago, but this guy was originally from Texas, and he just, his wife passed away, and he wants to get back to Texas. His wife passed away 2-3 years ago, and he's been living up in Adams, New York, for a bunch of years. I guess she was from up here, and he just wants to go back home to Amarillo. I guess he's got a brother there, and so the idea is to drag him back in his vehicle, drive him down there, and then me and the Fry guy have a flight back on late Wednesday afternoon. We'll get back here to Sorry Excuse around midnight, and so that's kind of the deal. And so we're going back to Dayton and so forth. We kind of know that area now a little bit after being at the Ham Fest, and then I think it was 2 or 3 weeks after the Ham Fest, we went through there again to go do the install in Kentucky.
It's rough.
So we're becoming more and more familiar with that area, and so forth, and checking out a different hotel to see what it's like, and so forth. Because we're planning on going back to Dayton, so that's the reason for the trip to Amarillo. I was actually hoping we were going to end up more towards Houston. But it didn't end up turning out that way, and which will be okay, because I kind of wanted to check things out to see what the Houston area was like, because I'd like to get down to the Houston Livestock and Rodeo that happens in January at some point or another in my life, but that's probably not going to happen right away. And Steve, I forgot on my last go-around to comment on the Subaru. Yeah, I had gone out with this girl from my church. We actually drove from here in Syracuse down to Knoebels Amusement Park because I like riding the wooden roller coaster that they have down there. They actually have a couple of
test 1 2 test
and so forth. And so she came here and she goes, "What are you doing riding around in the lesbian mobile?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't know that's what the Subaru was, but evidently that is the case." And I had, when that one started going bad, I talked to my mechanic, and he said to me, "Look, you want to go up to New Hampshire, man? Everybody in New Hampshire is driving a Subaru. You could probably get a good deal and trade this one in and so forth." But none of that ended up panning out. So it makes sense. New Hampshire, Vermont, you got all the hills, you got all the snow. Well, probably no less snow than we have over here, but all in all, I think it kind of makes sense to have a Subaru, and they're great. There's some anti-skating or anti-skid thing that they have that you'll actually see show up on your dashboard if you start to slip and slide a little bit, and the vehicle's got something built into it that's supposed to keep that to a minimum so that you're not supposed to be able to slide off the road. Yeah, that sort of thing. All right, I'm way over. I'm 4 minutes and 15. Paul, take it. KC2 CKO K2XAM in the group. Paul, are you in here, or did you sign? I don't remember. I wasn't paying that close attention.
I think he signed out.
So I think Steve is going to take it now.
I'm not sure. Was I the one?
George, yes.
Yeah, I thought it was. You go ahead, George.
I think George was off to the side. I think you're in.
Static.
Okay, I'll grab it. Yeah, that's funny. Here's a funny story. Chris, you'll probably not identify with it. That's the wrong word. That's not right. I apologize for this. But what was the West Haven? Is there a West Haven marina? It's down there in that area somewhere. I used to leave my boat in that marina. What a bunch of freaking goons they are. They had a canopy outside, and I'd arrived there, and this is back when Vermont was the first state in the union to legalize civil unions, right? And I got there, and I'm telling you, the crap that I had to put up with. They'd see me park the car and they were loaded, both barrels ready to go. Hey, what's going on there, Steve? You been to any pride parades or what's going on up there in Vermont? I mean, holy crap. It never ended for an entire, I don't know what I was there for, a year or two, 1 or 2 seasons. I mean, this state is like the laughing stock of the entire country. It was at that. Well, it still is. The state is a freaking crap show, but kind of embarrassing to say I live here. Oh, but it's beautiful. I'm like, yeah, whatever. A bunch of freaking butt-tards. Anyways, oh God. No, I never heard of that, Chris, by the way. That publication. I've never seen that. Yeah, let's go back over to you, Chris, I guess. I think it goes there. I'm waiting for the band to kind of settle down. I know, Kevin, you're not in here too long, so this whole thing may be short-lived. AJ1G, K1GMM.
Yeah, someone else in there? Yeah, I thought I heard someone else trying to. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Very good magazine. It's I think it's certainly, they have different editions. You got to be careful. I remember Stop and Shop, where you can buy it all over on the magazine counter.
Hey, what's going on, Doug?
2 On the Waters, and I thought they were different months because the covers were,
I was listening to you guys
different.
Last night, by the way, Doug.
But then when I got them home and started reading them, they were essentially the same
before
magazine.
I had the stream going off.
As far as the feature
Problems
articles,
with my
one
freaking
was
gate.
like the Mid-Atlantic edition for New York, New Jersey. The other one was the New England edition. I ended up bringing one of them back and getting a refund. But no, it's a great magazine.
Noisy.
K1TLI has written articles about his offshore tuna adventures. I don't know if ever worked Chuck here on AM. He's the guy that does the you would call the contours restorations of the Johnson Rangers and Vikings and such like that. He gets big money for them, but they look like they look better than leaving the factory condition when he does them. He does a fantastic job of cosmetically restoring them, especially. Anyhow, he's written for On the Water. Good magazine. I don't subscribe to it. I just buy it pretty much off the rack. But I do have I subscribe to their emails, and they give you weekly fishing reports, and there's all sorts of feature articles that come in on email. And then the magazine itself is very well written and great graphics, a good quality production magazine, that's for sure. And I don't know anything about West Haven. That's like that's a good almost an hour drive to the west of the sphere. Very rarely get down there. The only thing I know about West Haven is when you drive by 95 there. It started out years ago. There's a parallel road to the to 95 there, but right by the waterfront there on the south side of it's on the northbound. You would get to it from the northbound lanes, I guess, spur road. And you go through down there now, and there's 50 or so food trucks, and it's all it looks like all pretty much Hispanic. You see a lot of Puerto Rican, different Central American flags flying everything. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Stuff. Anyhow, I'm going to sign out. I think I'll be on the minute sideband then here. It's 38:04. It starts up in about 8 o'clock. Now, I wonder if anyone's heard about how QIX came out with his heart surgery. They're getting a new aorta valve. I I heard the other day, he was actually in here, I think. What day was he in here? Wednesday morning. Yeah, he was apparently supposed to have the surgery Tuesday, and then he showed up for it. He was done with it, but he was actually still in the hospital, and I think he was checking in remotely. He actually checked into the Gray Hair Net on Tuesday night when he otherwise would have been probably in a recovery room or something if he had the surgery on schedule. I wonder how he made out. Anyhow, I guess, he turned it to George. We haven't heard from him. And then probably goes to Kevin X. And okay, you and Eddie, the Fry guy. That should be a fun trip, I would imagine. I'm sure we'll hear all about it. Good old road trip. All right, into LJO and company, AJ1G.
Morning, guys. This is N2VJ.
All right, I don't hear George in there, so Jamie, go ahead and grab it.
Hey, boy, sounds like a full crowd this morning. Good morning to Chris, Kevin, K1GMM. I'm so sorry, Steve, sorry about that. I'm pretty sure. And I think that's about it. Yeah, a little rough around the edges this morning. I'm trying to kind of get the ball rolling here, but the mold is a big problem for me today. Freaking ears are stuff solid, and what happens when you get that vestibular neuritis? You start getting heart palpitations, and
I gotta go.
You think you're having a heart attack? Yeah,
about 8 o'clock.
You get this kind of AFib that takes place.
Shoot.
And yesterday it seemed to have all gone away, and now this morning it's back again. And it does seem to ramp up when it's really moist like this. Yesterday was a bit drier, and things are okay. But today, Jesus, and it flattens you because it convinces you you're having a heart attack, and in kind of some weird ways your heart is definitely not functioning normally. Anyways, I'm just venting it out here because I don't have time. I just want to keep going and forging ahead, and these types of vague medical conditions that pop up just really set you back, when you're kind of in a big rush to move forward. So I may end up doing a little cleaning today just because I can see the actual mold, the Aspergillus, a competing mold, I'm not going to pronounce it right, but Stachybotrys. Yeah, the Aspergillus is growing up between our floor tiles, and the Stachy is over more where there's this almost kind of constant standing water. And that's the worst situation with these two competing molds because, man, they're constantly putting out mycotoxins to fight each other. And, yeah, once you're sensitive to it and once you're allergic to it, it makes life pretty difficult. So there is my piss and moan for today. Kevin, say something intelligent, please. K2XAM, this is N2VJ.
It's raining air down there.
Me, intelligent? You surely are joking. Please don't call me Shirley. All right, Jamie. You probably know I'm not coming in. I'll probably be calling you on Tuesday morning and having you put me on speaker so I can get in the group here from down in Amarillo. So I'll have to end up checking in and so forth. Not a whole lot else to add here. In fact, I think I want to sign out on this one so I can get to packing things up. And you missed Paul, so George is off to the side, sort of listening. Although the static's driving him and Kathy nuts, and I think Paul's still in here, if I remember correctly. I don't remember because I'm not really awake. I'm never really awake. And Steve, very interesting that Vermont is as crazy a state as you say it is. I still have a standing job offer to move over to Vermont. And I've been avoiding it because Cavendish is in the middle of nowhere to me, and I'm used to everything being 5 minutes away. And she's told me that the nearest Walmart is like 40 minutes away, and I'm used to Walmart and the grocery stores and everything being 5 minutes away, and so I've avoided uprooting myself to go live in the middle of nowhere and so forth. I've done that before. I lived up in Maine for a while and, had to get used to the whole idea of traveling 20 minutes to a half an hour to get basic necessities and so forth. And I had a job offer way up in Maine at one point, and I basically asked the guy that was calling me, I'm like, hey, so how long does it take to get to a grocery store? And he's like, half hour. How long does it take to get to a hospital? An hour? Yeah, I'm an old guy now. I need to know where the hospital is. And, if I stroke out or have a heart attack an hour, I'm going to be dead. I think I'll pass on that. I think I'll stick close by, where services and stuff are close by. But I didn't realize that the political scene was as wanged out, if you want to call that the political scene, in Vermont. New York's a pretty messed up state too. You're not allowed no new natural gas installations in new buildings. They don't want us using wood, and on and on and on. The stupidity goes. I've had the basic theory that, hey, you don't want to use natural gas or wood to heat in Texas. Okay, you got maybe 2-3 cold weeks out of a year. Up here, we've got 9 months out of the year where you're potentially going to be wanting to run some heat. Let's rely on that pair of wires coming into your house. It will break at any moment that a tree falls over and so forth. Anyways, 7-3, I'm gone up the road. I'll turn it over to Paul if he's still in here. Don't know if he is or not. And we'll catch everybody somewhere. It may not be till next Thursday for all I know. So 7-3, and Paul, if you're still in here, go ahead and take it. And if not, Steve can pick it up. Let's see. KC2CKO, K2XAM.
Oh, K2XAM in the group. KC2CKO back here. Well, I had to make an emergency run to the command center, as Tim Tron would say here. And then I got an email. This is a real killer. Over a year ago, our LG refrigerator that has a craft ice maker. It in the freezer compartment. It makes these round ice balls for specialty drinks and stuff. And it worked once. And then we spent, 6 months or better trying to get LG to honor the repair warranty. And, it was a nightmare. Every time we'd call them, we'd have to send a copy of the original sales receipt to them. And then it would go on from there. It was just a nightmare. We actually... had a repair technician come and do the diagnostic. Yes, it is definitely the ice maker was no good or whatever. And then with fighting for like 6 months, they finally owned up to the fact that the ice maker was defective right from the start. All of them that they ever made, and they sent us a revamped one, which I put in myself. Took 5 minutes, and that's it. Well, I just got an email from LG Service Department, Customer Service Department, wanting to know about the craft ice maker, if we could help in the repair of it. So they're like a year late. And then let me go on with this rant here. We visited my brother-in-law last year, which had a LG refrigerator, was 1 year old. And the compressor crapped out, but luckily they fixed it in a few days. But come to find out that these linear compressors,
spit, shine, and a shave,
supposed to have a 20-year lifespan. But some of them don't even have a 6-month lifespan. But Lowe's, who sells these things, knows all about these things, but they still tout that LG is supposed to be the best refrigerator going. I don't think I'll ever buy another LG appliance. So much for that rant, everybody. I'm going to go upstairs, get dressed, and take a run out and pick up my 50 pounds of flour and stuff and get my day started here. But everybody have a great day, and hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Everybody be good, and you, Kevin, drive and drive safe. And tell me about your story when you get back. Thank you.
Quick break. All right, I'll make sure I got it here. So, Doug, W3DBB, went through a thing with an LG refrigerator with the compressor. Only his ended up being like 7 years old.
Go on for like 5 minutes. This is not going to be good.
He ended up doing a lot of research and found that there was a class action lawsuit with those compressors. And Eddie, the Fry guy, used to work on those and many other appliances. And Ed says, if you're ever going to buy an appliance, don't buy an LG. Just run. You're going to be aggravated. And this stuff is really only designed at this point to last maybe 3 years at best. And I'm kicking myself in the butt because in my dad's basement was a Hot Point refrigerator that was from about 1954, and it still worked. It wasn't in and running every day, but he would plug it in, once or twice a year to make sure that it still worked, and it was kind of his emergency backup. And I'm kicking myself for not getting that refrigerator and dragging it back over here. Of course, it would have had to have been kept in an upright position because it ends up screwing up the Freon if you tip them sideways and so forth. But I ended up leaving that there, and I'm sure the scrap guys ended up taking it. So anyway, run from LG. Just run. Just say no. Friends don't let friends buy LG. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. And this message was paid for by a competing refrigeration company, maybe Whirlpool or Frigidaire. Steve, over to you. K2XAM is gone.
Okay, Kevin. Yeah, thanks. And I gotta go like a madman. I got 30 minutes. I got to roll out of here and go down. I have a 9 o'clock appointment in Bennington. A couple quick comments. The who was it? Jerry, W1JWC. He had a lot of issues with Samsung. He calls it Samsung appliances. Washer, refrigerator. It seems like Samsung and LG, they got some issues there. But he calls them Samsung. But what was it? Oh, Vermont. Yeah. Bennington's about 45 minutes from me. Everything is Walmart's about 25 to 30 minutes, and I'm on the main corridor on the west side of the state, Route 7 corridor. So you'd think that I'd have access to a bunch of stuff, but no. I know where Cavendish is. It's over by Ludlow, which isn't far. That's not far from me, over by Okemo ski area. Yeah, when you get out away from the main hubs, you're out in Easterbrook, man, and everything is a drive to a major store, even just regular supermarkets sometimes. I mean, the closest supermarket here is about 15 to 20 minutes away. So we always wanted to move up to a place called Peru. It's up on the mountain, but they get so much freaking snow up there, it covers the first story windows. And it's a very long winter up topside in the high elevations. And there's no easy way, like we get snowstorms and they'll close the mountain. Happens all the time. They'll close it. You can't get down, you can't get up. And if you're on the mountain, you're stuck there. And the snow's just coming down. They have to close it because the trucks jackknife on there. And this is the pass going up out of Manchester up towards Bromley Stratton. Also, Woodford is notorious for that down in the southern part of the state. We call it Woodford. But that's, Searsburg Pass. Steep, long, and it's literally like a demolition derby up there. So, if they get a lot of cars and they get a truck jackknifed, everybody's sitting there and the snow's coming down. They got to get the trucks through to get the truck straightened out. And it just starts piling up really quick up top there. So it's a mess. It's a pain in the ass, Kevin. It really is. You can't get anywhere easy in this state, especially if you're going east-west. Look at a map. You want to go east-west, you're screwed. Anyway, 7-3, guys. We'll catch you all later. Have a great day. I got to fly. Chris, all yours, buddy. K1 GMM.
Yeah, okay, Steve. K1 GMM, AJ1G. Well,
Okay.
yeah, I can
am outta here.
imagine what those roads are like.
We will catch you guys later. Have a great day.